Defdas, Homeworld, the Korra, a humid swamp world with slightly higher than standard gravity, full of lush forests and great lakes. World with good deal of wildlife and resources. Their home system is in fact a dual system, with the Korra orbiting a major star among other planets, and another smaller star orbiting the major one on a distant orbit, with its own planets locked in orbit. Defdas live in partially underwater cities that are usually located in artificial lakes. Physical characteristics. Type: Amphibian. Height: 2.2 meters. Weight: 240 kilograms. Coloration: green. Diet: carnivore. Senses: good sense of hearing, bad sense of smell. Forms of communication: vocal. Reproduction: eggs. Incubation: 7 months. Lifespan: 95 years. Maturity: 19. Special traits. Defdas are strong and muscular creatures. They have amazing ability to jump impressive distances despite their weight and mass. Their skin is tough and secrete an isolating mucus that grants them protection from environment. Defdas have powerful lungs and can let out a deafening roar if they want to. Their deep voices can carry sound far into the distance. There is little sexual dimorphism between both sexes, and there is no concept of gender roles among the species. Defdas have impressive healing factor, able to suffer catastrophic damage and not only survive, but to regrow parts of their body. In rare cases, even partial regrowth of brain tissue. While strong, resilient to pain and able to heal extremely well, they are far from being resilient against actual damage. In fact, Defdas can get hurt quite easily, but heal before it becomes a real problem. Psychological characteristic. Defdas are a group of proud people who are fully aware of their physical strength. They are very individualistic and ambitious by nature. They are also quite intelligent, but physical might is the most important characteristic within their society. What is the most interesting about Defdas, however, is that they have very little fear of death or bodily harm. In the world of plenty, it was physical might that many times decided who was on the top of the hierarchy. This, combined with the fact that Defdas don't really have gender roles and their population was split between those Defdas who had dominant personality and those who were submissive. Defdas don't create families, but something known as choirs. The most dominant and stronger Defdas defeats or forces other into submission. Those Defdas who aren't already part of a choir join the choir of the winner. The dominant Defdas is the leader of a choir, and those under them follow them without question. This extends to breeding, where the dominant Defdas forces themselves onto submissive ones to spread the dominant gene. And all of this is seen as repellent among many civilizations. This is how Defdas operated since before the Stone Age. There is no real romantic love among them, just loyalty to the strong. Defdas have clear hierarchy where the strong rule the weak. They are quite aggressive species and are bad at resolving conflicts without bloodshed. They are warriors with great ambitions and visions of future. History. Defdas were a species that was always divided and always waging some kind of conflict. No matter if it was on the big or small scale, conflict was a constant among them, something they saw as natural. Defdas were finally united under true empire, an absolutist monarchy with great ambitions and seeking new paths into the future. Through hard work and their ambition, they managed to reach the stars and successfully terraform and colonize 2 worlds within their home system, which wasn't too much of a challenge as the dual star system already had worlds ideal for terraformation. Because of internal conflict and Defdas culture, the empire of 3 worlds split apart into 3 parts. A young republic which went against Defdas' nature and believed in more libertarian ideas of governance based on intelligence rather than strength. Theocratic dictatorship that followed idea of blood purity and divinity of war. This cult was most likely influenced by Khorne, and lastly, the remains of the old empire. Those 3 states, each in control of a single world, were in standoff and close to unleashing genocidal war on one another. That's when Coalition made contact with the species. Situation was difficult, but with Watercast working hard, the Republic and the Old Empire agreed to unite in the form of constitutional monarchy and join the coalition. The Watercast diplomats managed to gain support among population of theocratic planet, and the idea of a greater good started to spread. However, the most radical theocratic cultists refused to simply surrender and tried to fight, deciding to rally their supporters and strike at the coalition directly. This small conflict is barely remembered as the Holy Blood War. It lasted all but 7 days, where theocratic leadership was eliminated, places of cult leveled, and zealots that refused to follow the greater good eliminated thanks to coalition experimental weaponry. This show of force ensured that newly established constitutional monarchy won't follow the same path as their cultist cousins. Since then, Defdas are still a proud species, but one that balanced their traditional ideas of might makes right with more subtle ways of democratic process. The kingdom adopted even the idea of castes in a way where noble houses dedicate themselves to given pillar, aka specialization, and work within boundaries of this specialization for the greater good of the kingdom and the coalition. Joining the coalition: 855th year Millennium 40, 6070 year Era of Unity. After elimination of fanatics and establishment of constitutional monarchy, Defdas joined the coalition as a full member, although there is little doubt that they joined under pressure and threat of a coalition invasion, with destruction of one of the Defdas states as a proof of coalition might and a warning for the future. Status in the coalition: puppet of the Tau Empire. Although Defdas will never say so openly, they are on the leash of a Tau. They were the ones to find them and convince them to join the coalition. They can govern themselves, and Tau don't intervene into their internal politics as much as with their other puppets, but on grand scale, Defdas wouldn't dream to stand against the Tau Empire. They are few in number and dependent on coalition technological support to develop and grow. Government: the author constitutional monarchy. Defdas are collectively ruled over by Ilozak royal family. This royal house is secretly under control and influence of ethereals, who ensure, with the help of Earth caste geneticists, that the members of a royal house will remain most physically imposing of all of their species. Next are the great houses. Each of them dedicates themselves to one pillar, which is caste-like system. Royal family and great houses are part of royal court and the higher branch in politics. Below them is People's Council, which takes form of parliament of elected officials, those usually being part of smaller noble houses. The royal family and great houses share majority of the power, when People's Council is weaker legislative and advisory in nature. Role within the coalition. Defdas are a small member of the coalition. They don't have enough industry, military or political power to be influential within the coalition. They are sometimes used as laborers or warriors, but that's about it. Sure, their workers and soldiers are good, great even in certain environments, but they aren't anything special by coalition standards. Defdas are relegated to the background or to their corner of the coalition space. They aren't a numerous species, nor do their abilities make them somewhat more valuable than alternatives. Not even mentioning how their ideal physical strength determining how important someone is or who to follow is hard to deal with when looking at the coalition. As such, for the most part, Defdas are rarely seen outside the region of space, and if they are, it's almost always as soldiers who serve as heavy infantry.